prime number is the one that has only two factors, 1 and itself. And a composite is the one that has more than two factors, 1, itself, and some other factor as well. In case you need to learn what is a factor, what is a prime and a composite number, I'll link to the video down below, learn the basics, and then it'll be easier for you to understand what is prime factorization. Well, prime factorization is the one where all the factors of any given number are prime numbers. Let's say we have a composite number and we break it down. Well, you're not gonna need an actual hammer to do the job. I'm gonna teach you easy ways to do it. But for now, let's break this composite number down. We have one prime number and a composite number. Now, both of these numbers, the prime and a composite number, they are factors. How do you break it down, break a composite number down? You make factors of it. One of them is a prime number, the other one is composite number. You leave the prime number as is, and then you break down the composite number a bit further. Then again, you have from that composite number one prime number and a composite number. You leave the prime number and then you break down the other composite into different prime numbers. So all of these prime numbers, all of these four p's, p into p into p into p, that's prime factorization of a number c. You can also write it as p raised to the power of 4. That would be index notation. Let's take an example of number 64. Previously, we learned that the first factor that you make of any number is 1 into itself. So you can write 64 as 1 into 64. Now, the problem with this factor is 1 is not a prime number, it's not a composite either. So you can't write 64 as 1 into 64. You'll have to start with the lowest prime number that you know, that is 2. So let's do it. 64 can be written as 2 into 32. Now 2 is a prime number, you leave that prime number as is, and then you break down the composite number, that is 32, into different factors. Then again, start with the lowest prime number that you know, that is 2. If you divide 32 by 2, the answer is 16. So the factors of 32 are 2 and 16. 2 is a prime number, you leave that as is and divide 16 further. 16 is divided into 2 into 8. 2 is the prime number, 8 is a composite. Then 8 is broken down in 2 and 4. 4 is a composite number and will be written as 2 into 2. Now all of these prime numbers that we left above, that 2, all the 2 will be carried down as is. So in the last line, you can note there are 6 number of 2's. You can say 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 are the prime factors of 64. There is an easy way to write that. How many 2's are there? There are 6 2's. So you say 2 raised to the power 6, the number of that digit. Let's say we have 6 2's. If we had 8 3's, we're gonna say 3 raised to the power 8. This is called index notation, and this method is called a factor tree. Now, from an examination perspective, there is an easier way to do this prime factorization. That is the method 2. In this method, we're gonna use the simple division method. Let's say we write 64 and divide that by the lowest prime number that we know, that is 2. And the answer is 32. What about 32? Can it be divided by 2? Yes, it can be. There's another factor, 2, and the answer is 16. We're gonna divide 16 by 2 again. The answer is 8, divided by 2 again, 4, 2. The answer is 2, divide that by 2 again, and the answer is 1. So all of these numbers that are written on the left side of that table, 2, starting from the top all the way to the bottom, they are all the prime factors of 64. There are two methods, the factor tree and this division method.